So many of you have seen this in the background of my videos, and some of you have asked about it, and today we're gonna walk through building it again, but in here, on this wall. Also, apologize for the echo. This room is empty, so stay tuned for the bedroom setup. Alright, so I've purchased various strips of wood from Home Depot, 1.5 inch by 3/4 inch, couple pieces of walnut, couple pieces of red oak, more red oak than the walnut because the darker walnut will be more of an accent piece. We also have a very long piece of birch, but I don't know if we're actually going to use this. We'll see. First things first, we're going to cut off the factory edges because they're kind of nasty, and we're also going to get rid of these stickers, which most likely we'll have to use some mineral spirits to clean out the sticky residue. And then we're going to cut them down. Probably just going to do a random variety of different sizes, and then once I have everything cut out, organize them and design it based on what I made. This isn't exactly how I did it last time. Last time I actually rendered the whole thing digitally to scale, predetermined all the sizes and the placement, and then I cut the sizes based on the rendering and pretty much followed that. But this time we're just gonna gung-ho it. Still should work out. To cut them, we're just gonna be using a chop saw, make it quick and easy. One trick to not get these fraying edges or not get splinters on the edges while you're cutting, you tape it with some blue painter's tape and then cut right in between and you won't get this. But I'm gonna be sanding everything anyway, so I didn't really care to do that. Forgot to mention that when I was buying this wood at Home Depot, it took a while to select them because I wanted ones that were almost perfectly straight, because when they have a bow or bend to it, it makes install a little harder and everything doesn't line up perfectly. And even these ones weren't perfectly straight, but because I cut them down, there shouldn't be too much of an issue. 3 pieces that are about 4 feet long, 3 pieces that are about 3 feet long, 4 pieces about 2 feet long, and then we have 5 pieces that are a foot and under. And I don't know if we're gonna use this last piece, so I haven't cut it yet. With the stickers removed, now time to do some sanding. And the sanding will help with any splinters left or blemishes, especially in the lighter toned wood. And also, it'll help remove this, it's kind of like imprint, not really residue, left by the barcode stickers. And also because of the sawdust.
Gotta wear the mask.
It doesn't have to be super smooth or super fine. The wood is already pretty smooth. It's just doing basic touch-ups. So we'll be using this 320 grit. Midway through the process, just to get an idea, gonna do a rough layout, see how we're looking with the sizes and everything, especially because we're not using one piece that I had picked up. Final steps for the wood now are to apply some wood conditioner and clear coat. But before we do that, I'm gonna wipe these down with a wet towel just to get rid of any of that fine sawdust. Harder to tell on the lighter wood, but on this walnut, you can see how the stain brings out that dark wood tone. Complete transformation. We needed at least 24 hours for the stain to fully dry, and now we can do a quick light sand on it and then apply our final clear top coat. And this requires or recommends 2 coats and about 2 hours to dry in between each coat. And it's a gloomier day, so it might take a little longer, but no worries, we got time. I'm just using 400 grit sandpaper. I'm just doing a light brush over it. It looks fine. There wasn't really any issues applying the stain, no blotches or anything like that that we need to get rid of. Just prepping the surface for the clear coat. And then it requires another sanding after the clear coat too. The instructions for this tell you to brush with the grain. This coating is much thicker than the stain, so I'm trying to prevent like blotchy spots because I can already see with this first one, good amount of liquid collecting at the edges. Pause. Now that the wood is finished, it's time to actually install it and also figure out the layout. As I'm planning out the order, I'm also looking at the faces of the wood to see which side looks better, is more presentable. Some of these pieces are still slightly curved. I need to face them so that the curve is going towards the wall instead of away from the wall, because the mounting points, there will be less mounting points if it's curving away from the wall. So that's kind of unfortunate. For the lighting, we have these F-Cob LED light strips by BTF Lighting. Got it on Amazon. These are the same ones I used for my previous install. I don't know why the packaging shows like colorful LED lights, because these are single color warm white. It's like a continuous light strip. It's harder to see each individual light. So it's only dimmable with the remote control. I also have this split cable from the previous install that I'll be using to separate the lights into the individual pieces. We have these LED light strip black aluminum channels, also got off of Amazon, also the same ones I used in the previous install. They have this white frost plastic diffuser to go over top to kind of just diffuse the light, kind of wash it out a little bit so it's not too harsh. All right, I'm gonna record as much as I can over here just because the echo in that room is terrible and it's really annoying. Now it's time to start installing. Basically, it's not gonna look temporary, but installation itself is gonna be really temporary in terms of if I wanted to move things around or if I needed to take it off, it'd be really easy with pretty much no damage to the wood, the lighting, or the wall. So to install the wood and the lighting pieces, gonna be using this like double-sided super thick tape. And this is exactly what I used on my previous build and it worked perfectly fine. Here we have it, maybe 1 inch, 1.5 inch. It's like a gooey thick tape. Also got this off of Amazon. One thing that I do need to do this time, which I didn't do last time, wipe the surface of where I'm applying to with some alcohol. Apparently that helps it stick a lot better. We're going to start with the installation of the wood, going horizontally this time instead of vertically like the previous install. I'm gonna level out the first one, try to align it with the windows, perpendicular to the windows and level. Use the aluminum channels to distance each piece of wood apart from each other almost perfectly all the way down. And then once we have that, all the wood fully installed, we'll move on to lighting. And then for the lighting, instead of having a bunch of different sizes, I'm probably just gonna do the full length and maybe like a half length, and then we'll place it based on, you know, how we feel would be pleasing to the eye from a design perspective or artistic perspective, balanced. So it's one long LED strip, each one is 16 feet. We're gonna be cutting them up right at the cut section and then connect them with the little plastic connectors that it comes with to some wires, route the wires behind the wood. And because the wood is gonna be about this far away from the wall, that'll be perfectly enough space to route some wires right behind the wood. And then to hide the wires, we're just gonna paint over them. That's what I did last time. Should be fine this time also. Again, I don't wanna route it through the wall or anything like that because I don't wanna damage the wall. It's kind of a temporary build. It'll look permanent and I'm gonna keep it permanent, but just in case I wanna move anything, just in case. Easily movable, easily replaced with no damage, no actual physical hardware installation. As far as the like AC connector or the power box, it's just gonna be on the floor. It's gonna be hidden by furniture or whatever gets placed there. So I'm not too worried about that. It's more so the cables that are running up and through the wood installation itself that I'll have to make an effort to hide. But yeah. I'm still using the level all the way down, just in case I need to make minor tweaks with each one instead of getting to the bottom and we have drastic change, because the straightness of the wood isn't perfect. And voila, the wood is now finished. Last time, I cut some of these, vary the sizes of the lights themselves, but I think this time, I'm gonna just keep them all the same size since we already have so much variety in the wood. So it's just a matter of placement, which I think something like this should be good. So we'll have the wire path going up along here, and here, go this way, go up here into here, and then go up here. So when wiring, gotta make sure we keep with red positive and black negative. We have these little thingies right here. This pushes in like that. The metal in the plastic connectors actually come in contact with these copper pieces. We just feed the wires through. This cut in half on the back of these. These aluminum channels don't need that much of the double-sided stick because they're kind of already sitting on the pieces of wood, but I'm putting some anyway, just keep them in place. The channels also came with these little plastic covers for the ends, so we'll feed it through the wires. Nice and easy. Frost covers just kind of click into place. So actually, I'm gonna pre-install these and then run the lights through them. I feel like that might be easier. All right, so we need another cap. I'll just hang out there for now. So I don't think the colors actually matter. I think it's just as long as you stay consistent all the way through. With each one, we'll test it along the way. If we have any issues, we can solve them before we get too far. Okay. Haha, there we go, look at that. So we've got no issues so far. You can kind of see the LEDs. I don't know if you can see that on the video. You can see how closely the LEDs are to each other. So we get kind of a straight line, not dots. And the moment of truth. Bam! 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 These cables, we're gonna paint them, same color as the wall. This cable, I'm thinking of using like a channel like this to cover it. Got a little paintbrush. Is there a better way to hide the wires? Probably. But this is the way I'm gonna do it. So this isn't actually hiding the wires, it's more so just blending them in, camouflaging them. I guess I could have also painted the whole roll of wire, waited for it to dry, and then do the wiring. Could have been easier that way too, possibly. Painting's done. I also painted this earlier. It's not fully dry, so I'm not gonna install it yet, but essentially the idea it'll go over like this, and voila. And that is all, folks. We are finally done after several days. I'm going to install this probably tomorrow, and then it'll be 100% finished. And then maybe glue some of these kind of dangling cables. Hope you all enjoyed. By the way, to get rid of this echo, we're gonna be setting up this room, the whole room. So stay tuned for that. That'll be another video. But other than that, Thank you for watching. Also, one thing I noticed about my previous one over here is because it's on a dark background, the black aluminum channels and the wiring actually hide much better. Like same here, all I did was paint the wires, but because it's against a dark background, it's a lot less noticeable than on the other room.